Yeah, no, this is absolutely insane. Y'all got to check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Tapper is in huge trouble for the lie that he just spewed live on air, the lies that he's been spewing along with the mainstream media. This case particularly has literally been open for the last 4 years, and we have not found the guy. But today, we know exactly who the guy is. But now CNN does not want to tell you, especially Jake Tapper, does not want to actually be honest about the guy's race. He was not white. He was actually black. Well, this is where the story takes a huge turn. Before I show you this clip, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it gets even crazier. Stick with me here, right? Prior to this, he actually ends up slamming a conservative media group, Blaze Media, right? That's owned by Glenn Beck. He ended up slamming them because apparently they got the story wrong. But in fact, he got the story wrong. And the whole mainstream media got the story wrong. Now do we know now for 4 years, 5 years, going on 5 years now, why we never got the answers? What the hell was Christopher Wray doing the whole time? Right? So I'm going to show you the clip that's going viral, why he's in huge trouble, why people are turning on CNN once again, and they're saying, well, I thought you told us the guy was white. What are you saying? Well, let's actually go to the clip right now. Take a listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. This is absolutely insanity.
Capitol attack. Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosion. CNN observed local and federal law enforcement outside his home in Woodbridge, Virginia this morning.
Well, there you have it. That is the wild and chaotic clip that the whole mainstream media and everybody is talking about. Well, I guess the mainstream media really isn't talking about it. We're talking about it because they're the ones who have hidden this for this long. Or again, why did he do that? Well, many are making the argument. One of the main reasons he did that is because it defeats everything. It defeats all of their cases. It defeats all of their narratives, right? And we're going to get to exactly who Brian Cole Jr. was and what the mainstream media is actually saying he was, right? Because they're trying to link him now to becoming a Trump supporter. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it takes a turn, in my opinion. Here he is trying to lecture someone for getting the story wrong. Here he is trying to lecture the mainstream conservative outlet, who is the Blaze Media, which is Glenn Beck's show or media group, very popular. And he is here trying to lecture them. Meanwhile, he's the one that's really lying. What the hell is going on?
The suspect in this pipe bomb case is a male, not a female, as Glenn Beck's far-right outlet, The Blaze, published in a report last month. The Blaze claimed that, quote, a forensic analysis of a female former U.S. Capitol police officer's gait is a 94 to 98% match to the unique stride of the long-sought January 6th pipe bomb suspect, confirmed by several intelligence sources, unquote. The Blaze appears, at least based on today's actions, to have gotten that really wrong. An attorney for that woman vehemently denied the report. The Justice Department attorney denied a claim that he had determined she was the bomber. And now, weeks later, the FBI says the suspect is Brian Cole Jr.
So again, here he is trying to lecture the Blaze, saying that they got the story wrong. They decided to do an entire, and I mean an entire segment on the fact that the Blaze got it wrong. But now we have to do a segment on the fact that you got it wrong. But why did you get it wrong? Did you do that on purpose? Well, everybody under his comments and under the comments are saying, well, what is going on? Why did Jake Tapper say this? Why are they trying so hard to make people believe that the guy was white? What is happening? Well, let me actually go to X. Let's actually go to Ed Krasenstein, who is a Jake Tapper supporter, right? He earlier yesterday, said that Brian Cole Jr. is innocent until proven guilty, right? After they found him, he's innocent until proven guilty. He's innocent. But apparently the story has shifted, right? And now they're defending him because allegedly he is saying, Brian Cole Jr. allegedly told authorities on his pickup that he was a Trump supporter and that he believed that the election was stolen and that's why he did this. But Come on, guys. Let's be honest. How many of you guys believe that? The theories for so long was that this was planted. And boy, has those theories kind of coming true. But let's actually see how they're going from defending him to now bashing him. Take a listen.
You absolutely won't believe what Brian Cole, the DC pipe bomber, just told investigators. He told investigators that the 2020 election was stolen and that he was a Trump supporter. Remember when Trump supporters tried to claim that Democrats placed the bomb, despite the fact that Kamala Harris came within 20 feet of it? And regardless of the fact that Trump on that day told his supporters to fight like hell, MAGA can never take responsibility for anything.
So there you go. They have turned this story upside down, or they're trying to, at least, which is, in my opinion, why you saw Jake Tapper react and not retract from what he said. But yet they're still trying to bash others for what they have said about this J6 pipe bomber situation. So we have a huge announcement from Dan Bongino, because he says that this is only chapter 1 out of 20. And Dan Bongino, who has been one of the critics and investigators of this whole thing. And again, what was Christopher Wray doing? What was the FBI doing before all of this? Why did it take so long? Well, a lot of people are saying we figured it out why. Well, take a listen to what Dan Bongino has to say here, because it's very, very important.
New York Post reporting that this suspect, Brian Cole, had possible anarchist leanings. I have other contacts that spoke with people that lived in the neighborhood, that knew him. Any evidence at this point that you can tell us, any anti-ICE sentiment, any anti-police sentiment, any radicalization or evidence of radicalization that you and the team, to quote you, are finding and that you're seeing at this point?
Well, the assistant director in charge of the Washington field office is an absolute manhunter. Darren, you saw him at the press conference today. In just the last couple of months, he's had to deal with the tragic National Guard shooting, Washington Safe Streets program. He's been dealing with this case and other public interest cases as well. I say that because this was a lengthy investigation. This did not just happen yesterday. We've been doing this for a while. As legal process starts to come out and filter out into the public space, you may see some more stuff tomorrow. I don't want to get ahead of it, but you'll see more. And I want to be very clear with the public. This is chapter 1 of a 10-20 chapter book. This investigation is not over at all. The investigation has just begun. We've interviewed the subject at length. We are still going through an enormous amount of process, accounts. So it would be very early for me to get out ahead of that on motive. I mean, obviously the motive was to drop a couple bombs and that could have killed people. But what the actual ideology and motivation, I want to be cautious that this gets done correctly, and sometimes smooth is fast.
So there you go. Chapter 1 out of 20. And again, a lot more to come, says Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino, as you guys know, had one of the biggest shows, one of the biggest conservative media outlets out there as well on Rumble. 100,000 concurrent viewers, millions throughout the week, speaking of all of this. And now he's one of the guys in charge. And this is what a lot of people have been waiting for. They've been waiting for these types of answers. 53 federal agents were caught on that day doing God knows what, probably more. I think the number was more. The more things that have come out about all of this, it has been pretty crazy. Infiltration, right? Entrapment has been used, a word that has been used by, of course, Kash Patel. So what is the truth about this day? All the dots seem to be connecting. And if this Brian Cole Jr. story really is what we think it is, well, we kind of already know what that day was meant to be, I guess, for Democrats, what they were trying to do, which is brings me back to, was that what Jake Tapper was told to say? Is that what he's told to say, that the story is probably just going to go away? And, we're just going to say everybody was wrong. The guy was white, call it a day. The narrative stands. So it leads me to actually read this in closing, right? Here is what Benny Johnson had to say. It says the Jan 6, let's go to Jan 6. I usually get like the J6 because those yellow marks come in the YouTube algorithm. Always, anytime you bring up, they put like you guys will probably see, if you lasted this long in this video, there's probably going to be like some type of like fact check mark. It's not a fact check mark. It's like a blue mark that tells you about J6. It gives me more information under my video. So I hope it's not there, but it's probably going to be there whenever you mention J6. So here we go. Okay, so, we find out he's a young black guy, radical anti-Trump activist, sued Trump and ICE and DHS, extreme racial justice advocate, works at his family bail bonds company that frees criminal aliens from ICE custody. Yeah, this explains why the FBI and DOJ could not find this guy for over 4 years, going on 5. The Biden FBI had mountains of evidence against Brian Cole, receipts, cell data, license plate, photos, and videos of the crime. They knew exactly who did it. But Brian's profile destroys their entire MAGA white supremacist insurrection narrative. Right? So this kind of kills it in one blow, right? When you talk about how much the Democrats need this to be a white guy. They need it to be a white guy in order to keep, the black vote a certain way, the Hispanic vote a certain way, to keep up these narratives, because they have to, right? The FBI didn't fail to catch him. Leftists protected their own. This is the biggest FBI cover-up scandal in history. What a nightmare. So, again, this story just gets even crazier and crazier, which leads us to believe that, again, listening to Dan Bongino and that huge update, that there is more to this. And we got a long way to go. People got to understand there's a long way to go in the Trump administration, a very long way to go. You still have the rest of 26, you have the rest of 27 to figure out and really put things into perspective as to what was happening in the last 4 years and uncover and make arrests, make indictments, hold people accountable. What exactly is going to happen? Because all over, right? Jake Tapper, why did he do that? Why did he do this? People in the comments over these CNN posts, they're all saying the same thing. White? You said I thought you said he was white. So now they're holding, Jake Tapper accountable. And again, still no retraction at all. So what it was, or who Brian Cole Jr. really was, because the narrative needs to stay alive. And we kind of already figured out that this is where this is going. And again, we got huge updates from Dan Bongino, who again worked as Secret Service agents, then became a podcaster, a very famous one, a voice who spoke about all of this, who even had a Dan Bongino rule. He's the guy in power. This is what a lot of people have been waiting for. A lot of people have been waiting for this moment, this specific moment. This is why this administration is in place, to figure things like this out. So big update, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think down below. Why did Jake Tapper do it? Why did he do that? Why did he go that route? I even saw Chris Cuomo say old habits. ... What does that mean? Chris Cuomo, who also used to work for CNN. Narratives are getting shattered day by day. What more will be coming out, ladies and gentlemen?